This week, we learn about the death of the two sons of Aaron. And among the teachings are the mysteries of their soul and the purpose for which they were created, for which they were supposed to live. Their names of Aaron's two sons were Nadav and Avihu. Nadav and Avihu were said to be the reincarnation of parts of the soul of Adam, the first man. Now, we all are parts of the first man, but they had the essential consciousness of the first man. Now, this is a very, very profound concept, but this will give us understanding as to why they died. For Adam took that which he was prohibited to take. He just took it because he wanted it. And why did he want it? That was the cause of original sin, which we'll talk about in a moment. But Nadav and Avihu, who are supposed to be the reincarnation of Adam, are supposed to correct Adam's sin. What do? The very moment they have an opportunity to take the divine service that does not belong to them, they violate that, and they try to take it, thinking that there was no direct prohibition. And of course, if the purpose of their incarnation is so that they correct Adam's sin, and they follow the rules, and they don't take that which doesn't belong to them, then they've already messed up. They have taken what doesn't belong to them, and they have brought further frustration and diversion of spiritual energies to their souls. That's what sin is. Sin is a diversion of your energy, your spiritual energy. So now let's talk about original sin. So now they've messed up, and they have to go back because they did not correct Adam's sin. But what exactly is original sin? Now, I know that some of you are thinking that original sin is a Christian concept, but every major Christian concept comes from the Torah, comes from rabbis, comes from the prophets, ultimately from Moses. What is original sin? So, some people will have you believe that original sin is sexuality, human sexuality. And that could not be further from the truth. For whatever the Creator has done and made for the human being is a blessing. How could you say that the function of the body that the Creator made, in order for there to be the continuity of humanity, the continuity of all physical creatures as we know it, that should somehow be a curse, and that should condemn a person for eternal damnation, unless somehow or other he believed in some great outside force other than God. This would be a very, very cruel God to put into humanity the very elements of his own survival and call that original sin. It wasn't human sexuality. That was the sin of Adam. Human sexuality was similar to that of the animals. Animals procreate when it's necessary. The difference between a human being and an animal is that the human being in his mind can recreate those experiences that he has found pleasant in the past, and imagines them and wishes to reproduce them without any outside stimuli. It's not based upon need. It's not based upon necessity or functionality. It's based purely upon one's own desires. Original sin is the creation, the ability to create your own desire whenever you wish. It's an artificial pollution of the human psyche. The human psyche is constantly bombards himself with stimuli that aren't necessary, that aren't good for him most of the time. It is the desire for self-indulgence and self-awareness to the exclusion of others. Original sin can be boiled down to one word: selfishness. When we get rid of selfishness, we will have corrected original sin.